This is Sky Sports 2. Sky Sports Centre, in association with Ford.
Wonderful finish. Fantastic, sensational cut. Absolutely superb. It's got to be stopped. It's over.
In the Sports Centre, Matthew Lorenzo and Jim White.
Welcome to the final Friday football hour of the season. After 10 months of sweat and slog, it's down to one last decider for the sides involved in the playoff finals. In Scotland, it's cup final weekend as champions Rangers face Premier League basement boys Aberdeen in the season finale at Hampden. But for England, it's all just about to get underway as Euro 2000 beckons. And as a loosener, they're getting ready to face the world's #1 team. And the world's #1 player. Coming up, we speak exclusively to Rivaldo as he sets his sights on the Wembley showdown with Keegan's men. Posh have already proved their pedigree at the Twin Towers. Their win over Darlington has handed Barry Fry a place in Division 2. Harry's got a different game in mind. Can Dave Bassett scoop promotion #8 when Barnsley face Ipswich? Gillingham had their hearts broken last year. Is it tailor-made for them to get it right against Wigan? All that to come, but first, Kevin Keegan has given Dennis Wise and Paul Ince the chance to stake their claims for Euro 2000. Both players have been named in the starting lineup to face Brazil at Wembley on Saturday, with Owen and Shearer up front. Here's the team in full. David Seaman in goal, a back four of Gary Neville, Martin Keown, Sol Campbell and Phil Neville. In midfield, David Beckham, Paul Scholes, Paul Ince and Dennis Wise. And up front, Alan Shearer and Michael Owen. Wise is expected to play on the left side of midfield, with Ince in the centre.
Time for the talking to stop as England get ready for Brazil. Coach and captain can't wait.
It was always my desire when I took the job. I think one of the very first press conferences I said we'll try and get friendlies that mean something, that against top-class opposition, where we will, even if it doesn't go right, we'll learn something. Well, this one's the top-class opposition in the world.
They're the best, and we have to see how far we've come, or how far we have to go. The games you want to play in, you want to play against the best all the time to measure yourself, and they don't come any better than Brazil. But we certainly shouldn't fear them, respect them, yes, because they've earned and they deserve that.
Michael Owen, the man to partner Shearer up front, just as they did against Scotland. Emil Heskey lost his chance because of a slight back injury.
Nothing major. I think if it had been European final, whether it be for club or country, he could have played. No sense risking him.
You've got Owen alongside you. What do you feel about reviving that partnership?
Yeah, it's a bit of a stop-start thing, really. I think it's fair to say we haven't set the world alight as a partnership. There have been times where we've worked very, very well, but there have been times where we haven't worked so well. So there's something to work on.
Andy Cole's injury worries appear to have finally cleared up. The Manchester United star's been pronounced fighting fit.
He's fine. There's absolutely no problem. He's on his way back from Manchester. He's fully fit, and he can now go on and really start training as he would want to, and that's great news for us.
But Jamie Redknapp must see another specialist next week about his knee. Time really is starting to run out for him.
Jamie's going to go on Tuesday and see a specialist again, and then we'll have a clear picture.
But for his back injury, Tony Adams would have partnered Sol Campbell in defence. Nevertheless, 7 of this side started against Brazil in Le Tournoi 3 years ago, and 8 of them lined up against Argentina in the World Cup clash at France '98. Whatever happens to Keegan's men, lack of experience won't be a problem. Nick Collins, Sky Sports.
So plenty of experience in the England side, but no international team has a finer footballing pedigree than the boys from Brazil. They've played 19 games down the years, and as you'd expect, the #1 ranked Brazilians have dominated with 9 wins. England, though, have managed 7 draws with 3 precious victories over the 4-times World Cup winners. There's nothing to split the sides at Wembley, though. They've got 2 wins apiece with 4 drawn matches at the home of football. England have to go back more than 10 years for their last win over Brazil. Gary Lineker heading the only goal of the game back in March 1990. Since then, a certain Juninho put an 18-year-old Ronaldo through the middle to score his first ever goal for his country. That goal put Brazil ahead after Graham Lasso had given them a shock with this splendid opener for England. But it was an old stager who provided the decisive touch last time out, Romario going past Gareth Southgate before a clinical toe poke in the tournoi. No Romario this time, but Brazil do have Rivaldo, and he's issued a warning to his teammates. Beware of Beckham. The Barcelona star beat United's winger into second to win the World and European Footballer of the Year titles, and he says his rival can be a big threat to Brazil at Wembley.
Give a bunch of soccer-mad school children the chance to meet the Brazilian players and, understandably, they'll rush at the chance. And while they singled out Rivaldo, the World Player of the Year, the Barcelona man is warning his fellow countrymen about the threat from the man he beat to that coveted title.
Why?
Por quê?
He's a fantastic player, he's a very good player, a player that most clubs would like to have on their side. He's responsible for most of the Manchester United goals in the sense that the ball always passes through him and his crosses are very dangerous. So he's a very special player, a very respected player, and whenever he crosses the ball, you have 50% of the goal there.
But while Brazil watch for Beckham's crosses, Rivaldo will be looking to lay things on for their new-look frontmen, Amoroso and França.
Amoroso is almost well known, but França, people will know França because he is today's top scorer in Brazil, and he will certainly play in Europe shortly. You should start getting accustomed to see França because he's a very good player.
Arsene Wenger was among those watching the Brazilians' preparations. After all, they were using Arsenal's training facilities. He no doubt had one eye on Highburyman Silvinho, who gets his chance in defence. While Rivaldo, who watched on at Brazil's last Wembley appearance 5 years ago, says playing at the famous stadium will be very special.
It's a special match for the players and it's a very special match for the fans as well. The fans will be watching us and will be hoping for a good result. It is a special occasion because Brazilian fans like football and know that to play England is always a tough match, and we will have all our followers behind us hoping for a good result. Yes, it's a special occasion.
But who do the children think will win? Don't tell Kevin Keegan. Ian Bolton, Sky Sports.
And don't forget, all of England's Euro 2000 warm-up games are live on Sky Sports, starting with Brazil on Saturday. Coverage begins at 2 on Sky Sports 2 and Sky Sports Extra. Then on Wednesday, Ukraine provide the opposition. That one also on Sky Sports 2 and Extra from 7. And then it's off to sunny Malta on the 3rd of June. That's live on Sky Sports 2 from 2. The England under-21s kick off their European Championship finals this weekend in Bratislava. Media attention will no doubt be on the meeting with Turkey next week, but the team are staying 100% focused on the opening game against Italy.
England's captain Frank Lampard's first engagement was to pose for a picture with the Turkish team captain, which it's hoped will help to heal wounds and defuse tensions ahead of next week's meeting between the two countries.
From the players' point of view, we have no problems with them. I'm sure they don't with us. We've got 3 group games. I'm sure the onus will be especially on that one from the press and the media, but we just see it as another game that we want to win and just hope that it's a good competitive match, and obviously we want to get the win that could hopefully take us through to the final.
The centre of Bratislava is a maze of narrow winding streets, medieval churches and historic buildings surrounding squares with pavement cafes. It offers the tourist the kind of tranquility that UEFA also hopes will be maintained in the tournament. But as England arrived, UEFA officials admitted that events in Denmark and Istanbul had raised security concerns. Interpol is being used to help track potential troublemakers, and entry points are on the alert. Team hotels are getting a discreet round-the-clock guard. England's minds, however, are on their first opponents, Italy, coached by former World Cup winner Marco Tardelli, and who only dropped 2 points in qualifying.
You have to respect worthy opponents, and they've proved themselves worthy opponents. But anyway, disrespect, disrespect leads to failure. You have to respect them, not fear them. But recognise that your opponent, you know, is going to put up a challenge that you're going to have to deal with.
The England squad is, because of senior call-ups, in some ways a new unit, but there's confidence and belief among them. Do England have a chance? Can they go all the way, as you say?
I think we can. I think we have to be confident we can. As I say, I think we've got the players and the ability to.
England's first training session over. The preparation for the match starts now. The nerves will be jangling, but they know they have to get off to a good start. Chris Terry, Sky Sports.
And England's Under-21 European Championship campaign is live here on Sky Sports. They play Italy first in Bratislava, as we've said there. That's Sky Sports 1 from 7 on Saturday evening. Now, of course, it's not just about England and Brazil this weekend. 4 other teams are gearing up for Wembley. Yes, we'll begin our look ahead to the playoff finals in part 2 of this Friday Football Hour, including Dave Bassett aims for the 8th promotion of his managerial career. But Ipswich skipper Matt Holland will be hoping it's child's play for his lot. And we'll be with a man who's been there and done it all before.
The playoff finals.
Gillingham v Wigan.
After a hard-fought win over Millwall, Wigan face a tough test against the Gills, who won't want to be the losers 2 years in succession.
Barnsley v Ipswich.
Will it be the Tykes who make it to the promised land in their first Wembley appearance? Or will it be 4th time lucky for George Burley and Ipswich?
Oh yes! It's payback time.
The playoff finals, Sunday and Monday, exclusively live, Sky Sports.
This is my digital remote, which controls Sky Guide.
For instance, if I press the TV Guide button,
it gives me 8 program categories.
Choose one, say movies, and it'll show me what's on the movie channels.
Or I can go back to the main menu and check out sports. It's simple.
And what does Sky Guide cost me? Nothing.
That's why people are switching to Sky Digital.
For more information or to get Sky Digital, call 0870 240 2000.
Alan Kirbishley not looking, but hoping nonetheless that Michael Gray misses. And he has missed! And he just saved it! Charlton are in the Premiership!
Welcome back to the Friday Football Hour. Still to come, Alan Kirbishley on the playoffs and Premiership survival. Plus, we'll have the latest from Rangers and Aberdeen ahead of Saturday's Scottish Cup final. Well, Dave Bassett heads to Wembley on Monday looking for his 8th promotion as a manager. Bassett has already been successful taking teams up on 7 previous occasions. His first promotion came with Wimbledon in 1981. They were relegated the following year, but Bassett took them straight back up as champions. Then into Division 2 and on to the top division, where the Dons stayed until this season. He had the same success with Sheffield United, taking the Blades from the 3rd to the 1st in consecutive years before being relegated with them in 1994. And finally, at the City Ground, he took Forest back into the Premiership as champions before moving to Oakwell.
Dave Bassett knows more than any other manager in the game about building sides that win promotion. A magnificent 7 times he's taken teams up. Now he's plotting to make that a straight 8 at Wembley.
A lot of people ask whether there's a secret. There's no secret at all. And if I did have a secret, make no mistake, I wouldn't be telling anybody. But I won't kid anybody along that there's some magic potion or system that works. It's a matter of getting a team together that wants to be ambitious and work, and at the same time playing well throughout the seasons, surviving your ups and downs, and having a bit of luck at the required time.
No magic wand to wave over his Barnsley players then, but still a confidence that in this current squad are the sort of characters essential to a successful promotion push.
Any team at the top of the season, at the end of the season, has got to have some of that resilience about it, and Barnsley players have certainly shown that, as did the Nottingham Forest players at the required time, because they went right to the wire in 90 points, for example. Again, when I was at Sheffield United and Wimbledon, again, players at certain times had to show, definite qualities of winners.
Barnsley's one and only tilt at the top flight helped banish some of the flat cap stereotypes that surround both the club and the town. They enjoyed their one taste, and now they're hungry for more of the same.
Well, Barnsley got an opportunity to get back in the Premier League for the second time in their history, which would be marvellous. They've gone to Wembley for the first time in the club's history, which again is tremendous for everybody involved. And if we can get victory, it'd culminate in a wonderful sort of season for Barnsley to go back in the Premier League. Yes, I mean, I think of Barnsley will always be looked on as not being a regular Premier League side. But again, teams like Barnsley have got to have that ambition and the belief, and also the opportunity to come and compete with the best teams. It's what dreams are made of, and we can't destroy dreams.
Talking of which, will those dreams be disturbed by sleepless nights in the build-up to the big game?
There are certain times in the season you wake up perhaps thinking about the game, but these are the moments where you've got to savour them, you've got to be looking forward to them. It's important that the team's prepared, and if we prepare ourselves, I have no doubts about, you know, enjoying a few glasses of red wine on Sunday night and nodding off to sleep and waiting with expectation to see what Monday has in offer.
And come Monday, if champagne's on the post-match wine list, you'll know for sure that Harry Bassett's pulled off yet another promotion. Bryn Law, Sky Sports.
Ipswich know all about the disappointment of the playoffs, but after failing to reach the final for the past 3 years, Matt Holland believes their time has come. The captain should know he hasn't missed a game since arriving at Portman Road in 1997.
It's the biggest game of Matt Holland's career. So how does the Ipswich captain prepare for a Premiership playoff at Wembley?
It's nice, to be honest. He loves it in here, and it gives me time to get away from the footballing side of things, and I love spending time with the children, to be honest. We train Saturday morning, we'll be on the coach Saturday afternoon, and then we'll start thinking about it, I'm sure.
Until then, he'll relax in the Suffolk countryside with son Samuel, trying to put to the back of his mind 3 previous playoff failures.
We haven't got a very good record, and this is the 4th consecutive year we've been in the playoffs. At last we've managed to get to Wembley.
But Holland and Ipswich must fancy their chances on Monday, having already breached the Barnsley defence 8 times this season.
Well, we beat them 6-1 at home and 2-0 away. It's probably the most convincing we've been against any side this season. But it's all down to who plays well on the day. I mean, I suppose we go into it slight favourites because we've beaten them twice and because we finished above them in the league.
Since joining Ipswich from Bournemouth in 1997, Holland hasn't missed a single game. That's 164 consecutive appearances, only 15 short of the club record.
It's difficult to put your finger on why. I've been very lucky with injuries, and there's been times when I've had injuries on a Saturday, and if we had a midweek game I probably would have missed it, but I've been fortunate in that respect.
That considered, it's even more remarkable Holland's only ever been booked twice. He's grabbed 49 goals, 2 along the way, so it's hardly surprising the scouts are circling Portman Road, waiting to pounce if Ipswich slip up again.
I've got a long contract with Ipswich. I've got 4 years left after this one, so you know, as long as we're challenging to be in the Premier League, then you know, I'm happy here.
You're not sort of burning to get in the Premiership now? I mean, you're 26 now.
Yeah, I'd like to play in the Premier League. You know, I make no secret of the fact that I want to play at the highest level. But I think I've got a very good chance of doing that with Ipswich.
He's in no hurry to go anywhere. That is, apart from up the Wembley steps, a winner. David Jones, Sky Sports.
Well, no doubt about just how much is at stake for Barnsley and Ipswich on Monday. The two sides have met on 26 previous occasions. Ipswich hold the upper hand, having won 14 times. But the only result that will matter is who wins the right to play in the Premiership next season. Well, Barnsley have occupied a playoff berth since November. Never far off an automatic promotion spot, they ended the season in 4th. They'll face an Ipswich side who desperately wanted promotion without the playoff lottery. They just missed out. Well, they'll be praying for a lucky ticket this time. The Tykes suffered a surprise defeat to Crewe in their final game before the playoffs, but they bounced back by hitting Birmingham for 4 and effectively booking their place in the playoff final. Ipswich take a 5-game unbeaten run into the final. This Marcus Stewart strike, one of 7 they scored in the 2-leg semi-final thriller against Bolton. Dave Bassett's key man is Craig Hignett, who, despite playing most of his games in midfield, has a 19-goal tally this term. While the king of Portman Road is David Johnson. He scored 22 goals this season and been asked to play for Jamaica, Wales and Scotland. The bookies make Barnsley the outsiders for this match. They're 11-10, Ipswich are 6-4 on, and it's 9-4 for a draw after 90 minutes. As we've heard, Ipswich have put 8 past Barnsley this season. And you have to go back to December '98 for Barnsley's last victory against the Blues. Sean McClare setting them on their way. And don't forget, both remaining playoff finals are exclusively live here on Sky Sports. Gillingham against Wigan is also on Sky Sports 2, with coverage getting underway at 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. And then on Monday at 2, it's Barnsley-Ipswich. You can see that on Sky Sports 2, and Sky Digital viewers can go interactive on Sky Sports Extra. And who'll win the remaining playoffs has been the subject of this week's online poll. Here are the final results. 58% of you think Wigan will beat Gillingham in the second division final, while a massive 70% think Ipswich will be promoted to the Premiership, compared to just 30% going for Dave Bassett's Barnsley. Well, the playoffs have provided us with some great moments over the years. Perhaps the most memorable encounter came back in 1998. Both Sunderland and Charlton were fighting for the right to play Premiership football for the first time. It proved to be an all-time Wembley classic.
What a climax, what a conclusion. In 3/4 of a century, Wembley'd never seen anything quite like it.
Since that day, I've watched the whole lot, because I felt, you've got to sit down and watch this again. And on one other occasion, I've watched a highlighted 30 minutes, and if anyone can get hold of the 30 minutes, you still don't know what's going to go on.
From the off, it was fast and frenetic, full of anxious moments for Peter Reid and Alan Kirbishley alike. But Charlton made the breakthrough with a fine finish from Clive Mendonca.
I don't think many teams have come back in the playoffs from going down, but we didn't counter for the fact that when we came out the second half, the Sunderland fans just lifted the stadium.
And the players. Just after the break, Quinn headed them level. Then a brilliant piece of poaching from Kevin Phillips put them 2-1 ahead. Could Charlton come back? Yes, they could. Sunderland fan Mendonca saw to that.
And no sooner we got back in it, I think 2 minutes later, Sunderland scored again. We decided that, there was 15-20 minutes left, we had to have a go. But it was edging away from us.
5 minutes to go. What a moment for Richard Rufus to score his first ever Charlton goal.
I couldn't quite believe it was Richard. But in all fairness, he's got there and he's put it in, and he's done it a few more times since. But certainly for him to score, after so many games in a final, was unbelievable.
So was the game. In extra time, a chance fell to Summerby, and Sunderland led 4-3. Surely there was no way back for Kirbishley's men now, but that man Mendonca had one more ace to play.
Near the end of the full play, it turned into, you don't want to lose this now. It's all right, happy to be there, but now you suddenly don't want to lose it, because suddenly it came back to how much was at stake.
Penalties would decide. One by one, they handled the pressure. After 13 spot kicks, the two sides still couldn't be separated. Then, up stepped Michael Gray.
And just saved it! Charlton are in the Premiership!
But I don't think in anyone's wildest dreams that I would ever see another final like that. But people have said to me that, you will never ever take that day away from us. Charlton fans, long-standing or whatever, have said, that was the best it could ever get.
Though they're back in the big time as First Division champions, they still savour that day at Wembley, when they wouldn't lay down and die.
I had people out there that were desperate to be a Premiership player the following year. And I think the Ipswich and the Barnsley players will be equally as desperate as us. But I think you're right, to come back to 2-1, 3-2, 4-3, does take a lot of character, and we've done it.
A final that football will never forget. Ipswich and Barnsley have a lot to live up to. Greg Whelan, Sky Sports.
Well, half-time is upon us here in the Friday Football Hour, but after the break we turn our attention to the other playoff finals. It's already been decided in Division 3 as the big Wembley weekend gets underway. And Peterborough held their nerve at Wembley to secure second division football next season. And Gillingham will be hoping it's their turn for success after last year's despair at the hands of Manchester City. And we hear from Wigan's wingmaster Roberto Martinez, revising for Wembley glory on Sunday.
A new campaign. The battle lines are drawn. Once more, the the Super League title at stake. 12 teams, ruthless in their pursuit of victory, who will have the courage, the power, and the will to be champion. Ultimately, there will be only one. The Blue Sox versus the Wildcats, Sunday at 5, live on Sky Sports 3.
Misses this penalty. Manchester City will be in the first division next season. Gillingham will stay in Division 2.